How flight works. Exploring the science behind airplanes and aviation. Have you ever been up in the air? Whether it's soaring high on a kite, folding a paper airplane, or cruising on a jumbo jet, I'm curious to hear all about your experiences. What is flight? Flight is all about moving through the air. A kite stays up because the wind pushes it up. You control a kite by pulling on its string to make it go higher or lower. When a bird flaps its wings, the wings push air down. This pushes the bird up into the air. Flight and forces. Why is it so tricky for folks to fly? We can't even stay airborne for long when we jump off the ground. Creating a machine that can transport people through the air is also a challenge. This is because there are various forces acting on it. A force is either a push or a pull. To fly, people need to understand and utilize these forces. For centuries, people attempted to fly by imitating birds. They crafted wings from feathers or wood and flapped them while leaping from bridges or buildings. However, their attempts were unsuccessful, resulting in their plummeting to the ground. Gravitational force. The issue is that to ascend into the air, everything must contend with a force known as gravity. Gravity is the force that constantly pulls you back to the ground whenever you jump. This pulling force is also responsible for your weight, which is a measure of your heaviness. Birds are super light, and they have these incredible wings that help them fly. But guess what? Humans are way heavier than birds. And even though our arms are strong, they're not as strong as a bird's wings. That's why we can't fly by flapping our arms like birds do. Balloons in the sky. Have you ever seen a helium balloon floating away into the sky? Things float when they're lighter than the air around them. The air we breathe is a mix of gases in the atmosphere. Air has weight because of gravity pulling it towards Earth, just like we do. But helium is a gas that's much lighter than air. Hot air is lighter than cold air, so it naturally rises. People use hot air to fly in hot air balloons. A burner heats air in a giant balloon. When the hot air rises inside the balloon, it lifts the balloon up into the sky. Hang gliders. Have you ever thrown a paper airplane and noticed it flies a bit despite being heavier than air? Well, there's a scientific explanation for that. Planes and hang gliders stay in the air because they have wings, which generate lift. Wings and lift. Wings give planes and hang gliders a special power called lift. Lift is like a gentle push from the air that lifts the wings up. It's the opposite of gravity, so when lift is stronger than gravity, the wings go up. But when lift is just as strong as gravity, the wings stay right where they are. How lift works? The wing's curve generates lift. Air flowing over the top of a curved wing has more distance to cover, so it moves faster than the air below. Consequently, it has less time to exert downward pressure on the wing from above. Conversely, the air below the wing possesses greater pushing power than the air above, pushing the wing upward. If wings create lift force, why do paper planes to flying? Paper planes and hang gliders are slowed down and stopped by another force. Drag, the force of air that opposes moving objects, either slows them down or even pushes them backward. For instance, when paper planes and hang gliders glide through the air, drag acts against them. Consequently, as they slow down, the airflow over their wings becomes slower, resulting in a decrease in lift force that counteracts gravity. This situation necessitates the paper plane's descent. Sometimes hang gliders stay up in the air longer by finding a thermal. Thermals are areas of warm, rising air. It happens when heat comes off areas of warm land or buildings. This heat warms the air above. The warm AI rises and becomes a thermal. Airplanes. To make a paper plane fly faster and farther, you can throw it harder. The force that moves things forward is called thrust. Throwing a paper plane hard gives it more thrust. Propellers and engines provide the thrust that airplanes need to move forward. Propellers. A propeller is a machine with parts called blades. Each blade is shaped like a wing. When an engine makes a propeller spin around and around, the blades create a pulling force. This pulling force helps to pull the plane forward through the air. Jet planes use diesel fuel to power their engines, which burn it to create hot gases. These hot gases and air are shot out of the back of the engine, pushing the plane forward. Streamlined planes need less thrust to move forward if they are streamlined. Streamlined planes are long and narrow. There is less drag on thinner shapes than wider ones. Helicopters stretch out your arms and keep them still while you spin around in one spot. This is similar to how a helicopter takes off. Your body is acting as the helicopter's rotor, spinning to turn the helicopter blades. Planes take off by zooming down a long runway. This fast speed creates a strong airflow over their wings, generating lift. Helicopters, on the other hand, fly straight up. When their rotors turn, they push air downwards. This downward airflow lifts the helicopter, allowing it to soar. Spacecraft. Rocket fireworks fly straight up into the sky because they contain gunpowder. Gunpowder ignites when someone sets it on fire. As it burns, it produces hot gases. When these gases are expelled downward, the firework shoots straight up. Just like airplanes, spacecraft also burn fuel to shoot out hot gases from their tail. But they need a lot more thrust to get into space than other flying machines. And guess what? Spacecraft engines are the biggest in the world and can reach super-fast speeds. In space, there's no air to slow down a spacecraft, so it keeps moving straight ahead. If a spacecraft's speed matches the pull of gravity, it stays in orbit around Earth. Astronauts use their engines to change their speed and direction. When you throw a paper airplane, you'll realize there are 4 forces at play: thrust, drag, lift, and gravity. You provide the thrust by throwing the plane, which battles drag and propels it forward. As the plane moves through the air, the wings generate lift force to counteract gravity. Different types of planes are designed for specific purposes and utilize the 4 forces of flight in unique ways. For instance, large and heavy planes are typically used to carry a substantial number of passengers or cargo. These planes generate significant drag, resulting in slower speeds. To compensate for this, they are equipped with large engines and wings that provide lift and thrust for flight. On the other hand, planes designed for speed are smaller and streamlined. These aircraft carry only a few passengers or have minimal cargo, minimizing drag and enabling faster and more maneuverable flight. It is really interesting and I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye.